Don't mind me. Just looking for my skid mark.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Desert Fox driver. His name is Skid Mark. I don't. That's a weird idea that they'd be like, hey, we should probably name a figure that. Ours. Stalker. Just like Stalker. Can't name things that. No, don't have one.
So you don't have a skid mark?
I don't. Thank God. Nobody puts nothing away. I hate that I'm cleaning this room again.
Well, then don't clean it up.
No one will do it. Nobody cleans in the shop except for me.
What's going on back here?
Just frustrated. I kid you not, this was spotless. I cleaned it about a month ago. It's because at the end of the shift, this is what people do. And they leave. It's crazy. Like, just you find stuff that doesn't. But hey man, when I get the clock in, just get paid, I'll do it too. I'll do it too.
I know you're having a rough week or so. You want to tell the audience why?
No, it's not so much even a rough week. My best friend died on Sunday. The last thing he would ever want is us moping and crying and being big babies. It's just not who he was. So like I do my best to not worry about that kind of stuff. But we had his wife hadn't seen this yet, so we were supposed to go. Him and I were supposed to go. And again, it's one of those things, man. Where like if we'd have went on Sunday like we were supposed to, and I didn't want to because I wanted to go camping, him and I would have been there getting autographs, and maybe he'd still be here. So I have to think about that all the time. Haven't brought it up much because again. You can't do the what if game. Well, if we would have did this, it would. It's not how it works. When it's your time, it's your time. But he wasn't too fond on the cost of an autograph because he's old school, right? Like we're a diehard fan. I don't want to pay $100, and to this day, I will never pay for anyone's autograph. Like I don't love anybody enough for that. Like I'm a fan. I'm willing to wait in line if I'm getting it like personalized. If it's going to me or someone. That's different. If I'm here to flip it, I'll pay for it all day. I'll do that all day in the store. But we're going to get him an action figure done. Then we got the news that morning he passed away. So he got In Loving Memory of the Big Country and signed by Darth Maul. So Ray Park, Brian's the one that got it signed for me. He said he was so nice and just very, very, very grateful. So it's just one of those things.
You haven't even taken a day off, like.
Nope. Nope. That's the only thing that's weird about like when it's your own brands, your own business. Like you don't get like it's so hot back here. I'm different than other shops. I want to be different than other shops. I want to be more. You know what I mean? Look at Big Bad Toy Store. Look at Entertainment Earth. Look at these huge companies that are killing it right now. That's what I want to be. And so I don't need 2 weeks paid off. I don't need vacations. Like you hear about those things all the time. Oh, you gotta have your time. You have to have your time. You have to have your time. Maybe you do. I don't. I don't get tired. It's not. None of my staff can ever say, "Man, like he's real tired." I'm not that way. If I have a lot of issues with not finishing something. So like, if I'm sorting something or I'm working on something at home, just many times it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, or I'll just go straight back into work because I didn't get a chance to finish. I'm just determined. I'm not where I want to be in life. My brand's not big enough. My shop's not big enough. So. Until I get to that point where I don't ever have to look at a savings account again, I'm going to keep this motivation up. And I think that's something that I push on a lot of my employees. Like, that's how I'm able to take them anywhere. We go on trips. We do, Heather just lost her husband. We offer to pay her 30 days. Name a single business in America that's going to pay you 30 days when your spouse dies. In order to do those things and to be who we are, you have to put that hustle in it. So, like, a lot of guys are like, I just got in the thing yesterday. I had a local guy come up, told me that another shop was bad-mouthing us. And I was just kind of surprised by it because I had literally just did 2-3 weeks ago. We went to all of our local shops. We were buying stuff for my personal collection, her personal collection, Christmas gifts, just to show support. Like, it's important to share and support different shops. Like, I still believe that. And then he said all these nasty things, and I'm like, I just spent $1,200 at your shop. You've never even stepped foot in my shop. So, you know, we're setting up at Pittsburgh this weekend. Hands down, I'm gonna have the best booth there, and I'm almost at a point where I'm like, I'm gonna do 20% off my entire booth, just to make everyone realize, hey, we are big, and we can be there, and I can make you stressed out at a show. I would hate to be across from me at a show. If you have this for 20, I have it for 15. That's just the business. It's the business we're in.
Spring, you'll be here this weekend holding the fort down, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. How hard is that going to be, knowing Country's not going to be here since he usually helped?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough. Especially, you know, going to a service beforehand and then having to come here. But, you know, you still walk around and still have good memories of them everywhere. I was telling Heather too, even going down an aisle you wouldn't think, the sports aisle, and I remember him, you know, we weren't sure if we were going to have enough room for all of them because we got a big collection in, and you know, he takes the cart and is like, oh, I'm going to make room, I'll find room, you know. And so, I mean, there's always going to be memories of him here, but it is going to be tough, you know, not having him around. But we'll get through it.
Now, have you ever been to Toy Palooza? Show?
I have not, no.
It's pretty awesome. They put together a really nice show. I was with them at their very first show.
How big a setup is that for you this weekend?
I'm 24 by 16, and I'm using 3 sides. Yeah, it's massive. I've got over probably 1,600 items in my booth. But that's the argument, okay? So you got guys that, you know, don't get me wrong, some of the guys set stuff up on their tables really. Load us down with Eternia Dreams. Nope, no tray over here. This is a toy store. Yep. Hey, you too, sir. Thank you. Bye.
I think Trevor was giving out wrong numbers.
This is not Trevor, is it? No Trevor here. But no, there's guys that, okay, for example, for me, I'm going to drive 5 hours, I'm going to pay for a hotel, I'm going to pay for my people to be there, then I'm going to set it all up, I'm going to pay for my booth space, I'm going to drive 5 hours back. How much inventory do you need to put on tables to pay for that? Space is already mine, right? I can go as high as the ceiling. So I do 8-foot grid wall. What you put on 6 tables, I fit on 2 panels of grid wall. And I'm taking 46 panels is in this setup.
So how do you try to figure out what your overhead is? Like, how much do you, how do you realize how much do you need to sell? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so this is the problem that a lot of people do. Okay, here, hold on. Let me get quick on the back here. So I'm not gonna factor in what my racks cost, what my shelves cost, peg hooks. You can't, that's all from the beginning. Hopefully you pay that off over time, and etc. Just like buying trailers, right? For example, and again, it's you know, a lot of guys are gonna get mad when I say this, but renting a U-Haul to go to a toy show and you've done it more than once, you're not smart. You're not looking at the business. You buy a vehicle, you buy a trailer, it's a write-off, right? So either way, you got to pay taxes nowadays, even through PayPal if you're not a business. I understand the concept. You know, go rent a van. Maybe you don't have a big enough vehicle. It's only, you know, maybe you do 1 or 2 shows a year. It's fine. But I see guys that are all the shows that I'm at. You're paying, I don't know, $100, $200 per day, the rental, the whatever. That's your car payment for the month, and you could use it all 30 days. That part, to me, I'm ignorant to. I don't understand it. I mean, I literally think I bought a trailer before I've never rented a van to buy. That didn't make any sense. Okay, so for example, let's just say this show is 5 hours. I have a 50-gallon tank in my dually, so I'm about $180 each way in fuel. So I'm at $360 round trip in fuel. I'll do fuel. I don't know what the tables even cost at this venue. That would be 100% on Nikki. Let's say 60 bucks a spot. I got maybe 4 booths. I don't. Let's say 4. It's always someone. So we'll just say 240 for my booth spot, right? I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know that. And then I got 3 people to go. They get 100 bucks a day, right? Per day, cash. So I'm at 300. Hotel's probably going to cost me 200. Food, because you got to feed all the people that are going, we're going to say 150. Food. All right, so grand total. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12. I'm at $1,250 before I make a penny. So then what you'll have is these guys say, hey man, I sold $2,000. I made $2 grand at the show. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Take the 1,250, okay? So you subtract that, you're at $750 is what you're at, give or take, whatever. Not including taxes and change and all that stuff, right? Now you got to do another number, right? Because that inventory that you sold wasn't free, right? So let's just say on average you pay 50%. If I'm going to sell this for $5, I paid $2.50. So then you cut this number in half. That's actually what you made. So
when year over year you have to look at that first year and then decide whether or not it's worth
it. Yep. So for example, we and I know a lot of guys that you cut your, especially this weekend. Watch, now that I say it, it'll point out to you. You'll see guys with one table with 20 items, right? They paid $60 to get in, right? They're allowed in all weekend at $60. All they do now is go around and buy other people's stuff, buy it before people come in, right? So it's like paying a vendor fee to get in and be able to get it before anybody else does. I've seen that happen a ton. That was also a question people had asked. Like, I know Nick and I have talked about it. Imagine if I go to a booth, a show, I set up a table, and all I have on there is a TV and my flyers. The TV is my YouTube channel. Information, a slideshow of the store. I'm in, I could buy all day long, I ain't got to bring no inventory, but I still had to pay for the hotel, still had to pay for the gas, still had to pay for the food. So, for me, when I go to these shows, if I can't at least have a 10 by 10 or I can't have a certain amount of space to put up, you know what I mean, that's all going to matter. PowerCon in California, I mean, we made $51,000 in 6 hours. That's insane, right? But so those shows like that, you know, you're going to really be way, way, way up. But I have no idea how these guys are doing it when I can look at your, you know, a lot of, they're even letting craft people into these shows sometimes. How many crafts are you selling to pay for that booth to make a profit? And then you get those guys, well, I'm only doing this as a hobby. That's cute. That's awesome. I'm not. So I'm not, I have no interest in getting by. That's not what I'm at the show for. So you're noticing a lot more guys doing grid wall. I would say at the show we're going to in Pittsburgh, there's probably going to be maybe 2 or 3 guys with grid wall, that's it. And the rest of us all on tables. And I'm like, man, I personally, because I started with tables. That's exactly how I started. It was just filling up tables and stuff. And then I was like, man, if I did grid wall like that guy just did, look, he's got it really nice. He's got 10 times more figures. He paid the same amount to be here. He drove the same, you know, the same car. Bring more stuff. So it was a no-brainer, man. And guess what? If I've only got 20 items, what are the chances that all 20 of them are going to sell? If I bring 1,600 items, what are the chances of me selling 20 items now? See? So
do you think with regard to like the trailers and such, do you think it's that people don't understand the basic economics of it, or like the tax write-offs and all that kind of thing?
I think a lot of it, man. Okay, you have to add up how many times you run a vehicle a year. Okay, what's the insurance on it? Whatever, you got to fuel it up just like a normal car. and then divide it by how many times, and that's whatever you paid for it. So for me, I look at my enclosed trailer. Okay, I'm at $13,000 on my big trailer. In 1 year, it's paid off. It's what I would have spent to rent the vehicle. The same thing. It's paid off. So now for the 1 year, I was feeling it. Now every time I take a trailer to a show, it's free.
And I think it warrants mentioning that that's not all you use the trailer for, because you use it to go get collections, right?
I use it to go get collections. I use it for storage. Like my big trailer is actually the mobile toy store. That right now is exactly where I sort all my Legos. I have a little fan in there and my lights, and because I have it wired up where I can have lights inside of it. I do not understand. Even if you don't want to go buy a trailer, you can go buy a used van for not too much and use it for different purposes, whatever. But that idea of renting vehicles, man, if you're doing it for a hobby or you're doing it once a year, sure. You do it more than 2-3 times a year, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So for this show, 2 of those totes right there are full of the candy, because we also have a thing for Nikki Sweets there for candy. I can't put that out in my truck because it's 109 degrees outside, so you don't want it to melt and get ruined. So that's like, I keep finding things. I'm like, oh, this would be nice to go. So by the time you see this video, I've already been there. But I actually have a USS Flag, I have the Terradrome, and I have the Defiant. All of my setup all set up. So yeah, that thing's beautiful. So here, you'll get a kick out of this. So I realized, okay, so I can't tell you how many times we told people the flag is 7 feet, right? It's bigger than 7 feet. Because the flag right now is sitting on an 8-foot panel of grid wall. I have a few inches on each side. So
holy
it's bigger
cow.
than 7. But if you dismantle the big bridge part off of it and you just have the deck, I zip tied it all together, and it's zip tied to a panel. So when we go into the show, you just carry it. It's in my truck. If there was ever a time to get like searched by the police, today would be a funny day. Oh, and you need Eternia.
Is that one of the new ones?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a nice flag deck.
Oh man, so that's all I did. I just zip tied so it can't go nowhere. But and then when I get there, I'll just put the centerpiece on, and it's done. So this is the difference in grid wall from, because I was just at a show in Ohio last weekend, so I had counted how many panels I need for the new setup. So that's why there's grid wall here and inside.
How large is this trailer?
This is an 18 enclosed. So you have 18 plus the nose, you're probably 21 feet. This is the trailer that we do 90% of shows with, because it is smaller, it is easier. Ever since I went to a dually, a lot of people don't want to drive it, so I usually drive most of the way. My tires stick out 4 inches on each side, so when I'm in the road on the truck, I'm about 1/4 of an inch from each line. White line, yellow line. So, yeah, buddy. That's for a 1-day show. Yeah. Now this was another thing, especially for guys that are doing the pops a lot.
I was gonna say, what is that? Let me back up so I can get that better. What is that?
This is a cover. On the other side, it's clear, but it goes on those metal racks that you see people putting together at shows. Buy a set of caster wheels, buy a cover. Now you can leave all of you just roll into a show, unzip it, and there's all your Funko Pops. You're ready to go. You don't have to do anything.
Nice.
So I've got 6 of those in here, and then that's everything. All the grid. A lot of time I put all the grid wall in my truck, but the whole dolly fit in here, so I just put it in. It was just easier to be done. I broke the freaking ramp, so I'm gonna fix that before I leave on Friday. But that's it, man. That's how. I don't know if I have a key for the side.
And so now, the way this is going to work on Saturday is you have to go and say goodbye to your friend. So you have to go to say goodbye to Big Country, and then immediately get on the road in order to keep the money rolling in so that you can actually make sure everyone's getting paid.
Yep. Gotta commit to business at all times. That's weird. I wish I had a brake. I think this. I don't know if this is the key. I'd be really happy if this is the key. I lost the keys. I lose. Don't give me anything important. I lose everything. So that's unlocked.
Well, we're not walking in that door.
Yeah. But, and then see what I do is I cellophane a lot of it around the cover just to keep it tight so things can't fall.
Very cool.
And then in the back seat, which I need to move some stuff now because I got some friends coming.
I wouldn't know who that was.
I got a Defiant, I got my Road Ripper, and I got my My Pet Monster with my t-shirt on it.
I would like to point out that if you think my fat behind is getting in there with that stuff in there, it's not going to happen.
Everybody.
Oh. Oh.
You can ride shotgun with y'all, man.
I think I know her.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be as sad as like it could be, just because like we've already kind of like experienced like that gut hit, like the loss, and like he was such a man's man. Like he was my best. Like that's who I talk to every day of my life. And the last thing he would want me doing is moping around or oh, I didn't get something done because I was sad. That's not who he was, man. It's not who he wanted anybody to be. We already have enough excuses for why everything is the way it is. At what point do we start doing something different? You know? That's my buddy Country.
With the show Saturday, would he have, do you think Country would have been at this? Like, would he have gone with you guys?
He wouldn't have been to this show. He was supposed to work Saturday.
So he was supposed to hold down the fort.
Yep. He loved that because it was like a competition. He always liked to see if he could sell more in the store than I could at shows. And to be honest, this is another one. I have maybe 3 shows in the last 4 years have ever made more money than my shop does on a weekend. Yeah. That's terrible.
So given what you said about the overhead on shows, is it like, do you
That's
ever...
why I'm cutting back.
So you do debate and just try to figure out whether or not you want to do them, so
For
to
example,
speak.
ready? I have a 5-year-old daughter. I go to 13 shows a year. Okay, so in 4 years, that's an entire year's worth of weekends I wasn't home. Just lost my best friend last Sunday. I don't give a about shows anymore now. Now it's all about like the people I love, the people like I work with all friends. Everyone told me you can't do that. Yes, you can. Just have to be able to put the work first. I like shows if a bunch of us can go and make an event of it. Like PowerCon was crazy. How many people do we have at PowerCon? Like 10? There was so many, so it like really felt at home. My daughter's almost at the age where she can go with us now, so that is super exciting. So Carlisle, Toys for the Ages, will be Alexa's first show. So I gotta make sure my wallet's ready, because she could be pointing out the stuff. But no, that's all the pros and cons of doing any of what we do.
When you sit there and you think about like how much you just said, you know, you're cutting back shows because of Country's death. Like, how much do you even know how much this is going to affect you yet?
Nope. Not too much. We built such a big fan base, and I think our online presence is so large. I think we'll still go to attend shows, because then I can, you know, spend a few hours with my kid and have a good time versus having to. It's hard. Like, a lot of these multi-day shows, you know, you're sitting there all day long. How do you get a 5-year-old to want to stay still for, you know what I mean? I'm not just shoving a tablet in her face. I'm not being that parent. To each their own that want to do that, but no. A tablet's not going to raise my kid. I will. So
and she's an active child, just having been around her.
She'll be climbing up the grid wall. She'll think it's a rock climb. No way. No way. No. Go next door and find a piece. I'm a piece short. I lied. Thought it was complete.